Hello, my name is Devon Wood. Today I'd like to speak to you about something that's been bugging me for a couple of years now, and that's seatbelt laws. Now, while I think it makes good common sense to practice personal safety, I do not believe it should be up to the government to tell you that you should wear a seatbelt. So imagine with me, if you will, you're driving down the road, perhaps it's your day off, you're just out to enjoy a nice little drive. Perhaps your girlfriend or your boyfriend's with you. Maybe y'all want to drive down to the beach, maybe to the lake, to the mountains. Doesn't matter, it's your day off, it's your choice. Do whatever you want to do. So while you're driving, you're drowned out by the noise of sirens. You look in your rear view mirror and you're wondering, oh boy, I'm being pulled over. You're wondering, well, what could it be? You look at your speedometer, not speeding. You know, if you haven't been swerving everywhere, you've been driving safely. Well, he pulls you over, he walks up to your car, asks the same old question they always ask you. You know why I pulled you over? Just wondering, well, I'm not really sure. Why exactly did you pull me over, officer? He'll say, well, it's because you wasn't wearing your seatbelt. Well, your nice little drive has been slowed down by being pulled over, and happy smile's been turned upside down to a frown, and the rest of your day is just ruined. All from being pulled over something that should be your personal choice. So I have a couple of points that I'd like to bring up on that. First off, it endangers absolutely no one but yourself. It doesn't endanger the driver next to you. It doesn't endanger the driver in front of you or behind you. Nobody. Not the walker on the sidewalk. The only person that it really puts in danger is yourself. That's why it's your own responsibility for your own personal safety to protect yourself. It should not be up to the government to tell you, hey, you need your seatbelt. That should be common sense. To protect your own self, you should wear a seatbelt if you feel like you need to protect yourself. In an article in Time magazine by David Berkeley, he mentions that it might actually be more dangerous to wear your seatbelt. How could it be more dangerous to wear your seatbelt, you might be wondering? Well, he believes that if you wear your seatbelt, that enables you to perhaps take more risks. You might drive a little bit faster. You might feel like you're safer if you're wearing a seatbelt. So you might not worry about some of the road conditions. So in the end, he believes that it's actually safer to not wear a seatbelt. And I can kind of see where he's coming across on that. Now, it also really doesn't make sense compared to other things like motorcycles. It's not against the law to be caught not wearing your helmet while riding a motorcycle. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's good to practice safety and wear a helmet while on a motorcycle, but that's not against the law if you don't. Whereas in a car, when you're surrounded by airbags and tons of metal, when you get in a wreck, and compared to a motorcycle where it's just you and the road. If you get in a wreck while on a motorcycle and you're not wearing your helmet, you'll be in a little bit in a more risky situation than you would be if in a car not wearing your seatbelt. And things like drinking and smoking, those aren't good for your health or your personal safety, but it's not against the law. And one of the biggest things to me that doesn't make any sense is school buses. According to NCSBS.com, only 20% of our nation's school buses actually have seatbelts. And to me, that's the biggest thing you would want to protect is your own children. And yet, only 20% of the school buses actually have seatbelts. And to me, that doesn't really make any sense. So, when did it become illegal? Well, in 1966, there was a Highway Safety Act which required all major automobile manufacturers to make seatbelts a standard. This, of course, paved the way for protests between the years of 1978 and 1984, demanding that seatbelts should become a law for children to protect them. Well, during all these protests, someone was saying, well, if we're going to do it for the children, it should be the same for the adults. So, after many, many protests of about 6 years of protesting, 1984, in December, the end of 1984, New York became the first state to require you to wear your seatbelt while driving. Now, I have some visual aid from IHSA.com, which is the International Highway Safety Association. And as you can see here, it has a couple of states with different colors of red, yellow, orange, and a little bit of green right here. So your red states here, these are your primary states. These are states that you can be pulled over for not wearing your seatbelt, and that's the only thing that they need for them to pull you over. These yellow here, these are known as secondary. That means they cannot pull you over for only wear a seatbelt. They'd have to pull you over for something else first, something like speeding or any other traffic violation. Now, these orange states, those are primary, secondary states. Now, it's primary for children to wear their seatbelt, but secondary for adults. Now, you see these yellow and the orange, there's not that many compared to the red, but you can tell that there's some states thinking, well, really there's no reason for a seatbelt to be a primary law. You know, they're thinking it only needs to be a secondary. I'm sure it might be a matter of time before some of these other states might agree. And this green state here, all by itself, is actually the only state in the USA that does not require you to wear a seatbelt while driving, and that's New Hampshire. Now, in conclusion, while I believe it does make good common sense for you to wear your seatbelt, again, like I said originally in my original statement, it should not be up to the government to tell you that you have to wear it. And as you saw with visual aid, some states were possibly rethinking, saying, well, it probably shouldn't be a requirement that you have to wear your seatbelt. So that's all I had to talk about. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for watching.